Second, the things comes we witness ourselves in cases we will examine the nature and the intent of those who do them. Say it's your child, chalk it up to his age. He doesn't know that what he did was wrong. Your father, either he has done so much to help you that he has earned the right to also do wrong, or perhaps it is his very merit that offends us. She's a woman. She's made a mistake. He was ordered to do it, but an unfair man becomes angry at what necessarily? He had been hurt. It's no injury if you suffer what you did to him first. He's a judge. You would do better to trust his opinion than your own. He's a king. If you're guilty and he punishes you, yield to justice. If you're innocent, yield to your fate. It's an animal that can't speak, or nearly so. You're just doing just what it does by getting angry. It's an illness or a catastrophe. It will pass more gently if you bear up. It's God. You waste your effort just as much by getting angry at a God as by praying for a God to be angry at someone else. It's a good man that harms you. Don't believe it. It's a bad man. Don't be surprised. He'll pay to another the penalty that he owes you. And indeed, he already penalized himself by doing wrong. There are two things, as I've discussed, that stirs up anger. First, if we seem to have been harmed. I've discussed this already. Second, if we seem to have been harmed unjustly. It's this second point that needs to be discussed. People deem things unjust if they ought not to have suffered them, or in some cases, if they did not expect to. We think things undeserved if they were unanticipated. And so those that's happened contrary to our hopes and expectations disturbs us most of all. There is no reason why the smallest problems in our home's life offends us, and we call wrong an oversight committed by a friend. Then why, someone says, do injuries from enemies prick us? Because we didn't expect them, or at least not to such degree. Our too great self-love means that we think we ought to be safe from harms done even by our own enemies. Each of us has a spirit of a king inside of us. We want total freedom to be granted to us, but not to those acting against us. It's either our ignorance or our arrogance that makes us prone to anger. For what is so surprising if we wicked people, right, do wicked things? What is unusual if an enemy wounds us while a friend merely gives us offense? Or a slave sins while a son merely makes a mistake? Fabius used to say that the basest excuse for a commanding officer is, I didn't think it would happen. But I say it's the basis for anyone. Think everything might happen. Anticipate everything. Even in good characters, there's something rather unsavory. Human nature contains treacherous thoughts, ungrateful ones, greedy, wicked ones. I'm just gonna add my 2 cents into this. That is true. Even the most good person that you know, at the end of the day, still have them wicked thoughts in the back of their mind. So nobody's perfect. Is this a human nature thing that there has to be a set of balances? You can't be 100% good. It's either by 80, 20, 75, 25. You know, so I do agree with that sentence that Seneca is saying onto that part. Because imagine if everybody was good. There would be no progression in this world. Everybody would be stagnant. Everybody would just be comfortable sitting around. But there has to be some sort of conflict to solve what? Problems. Makes sense. So when you assess the character of one person, consider that of the populace. Your greatest fears lies in the same place as your greatest joy. When everything seems serene, the dangers are still present. Only sleeping, always suppose that something offensive to you is going to arise. The helmsman, even in safety, never unfurls his sails so fully that he puts away the gears he needs to reef them up again. So consider this above all. The power to do so, harm is foul, accursed, and very much foreign to humankind. A race whose kindness tames even wild creatures. Just look at the necks of elephants lowered by the yoke, the backs of bulls trodden safely by somersaulting boys and women, the snakes slithering amongst drinking cups and the folds of clothing with a harmless glide, the snout of domestic bears and lions that stay calm as they are stroked, the wild beast that fawns on their master. For us to exchange our nature with such animals will bring shame. It's an atrocity to harm one's country and thus harms any citizens, for he is part of one's country. The parts of a thing is sacred. If the whole is deserving of reverence, thus it is a sin to harm any human being. For that reason is a citizen in your larger city. So how would it be if your hands wanted to harm your feet, or your eyes wanted to harm your hands? Just as all the limbs operate in harmony with one another, since the whole benefits from the preservation of the parts. So human beings being kept from harming individuals since they are created for unity. Society can't be kept intact except by care and love of its constituent pieces. We wouldn't even eradicate vipers and water moccasins and other creatures that hurt us with bites and blows if we could make them tame henceforth, or arrange that they wouldn't be a danger to ourselves, to others. In the same way, we will not harm a human being because he has done wrong, but in other that he do not wrong. Punishment will be addressed to future, not by past, for its acts out of concern, not anger. For a penalty were demanded for every one of those whose nature is warped and capable of evil, then punishment would leave no one untouched. But someone says anger gives a certain pleasure, and it's sweet to pay someone's back for causing pain. Not all true. Giving harm for harm is not such as in the case of transactions where it's honorable to make a recompensation in kind. In those situations, it is shameful to be bested, but in the former, it is shameful to win, which is called revenge. Revenge is a word unworthy of human beings, even if it's believed to be just a thing. A certain man unwittingly in the public bath collided carelessly with Marcus Cato, for who would have ever harmed that man knowingly. Afterward, when he apologized to Cato, he said, "I don't remember being bumped." He thought it would better not to realize than to take revenge. But you ask, did nothing bad happen to that man after such great insolence? No. Indeed, something very good. He made the acquaintance of Cato. It is the mark of the great mind to disregard injuries. It's the most insulting way to take revenge if the man from whom one seeks vengeance does even seem worth the trouble. Many have raised small slights to a higher level by avenging them. By contrast, he is a great noble person who, like a huge wild animal, listens without concern as the little hunting dogs yap. But the argument goes, we will be less looked down on if we avenge the wrong done to us. If we reach that point, that remedy as it were, let's get there without anger, regarding vengeance as something useful, not pleasant. What's more, it is often better to pretend rather than to get payback. The wrongs done by the powerful should be received not just patiently, but with cheerful expression, for If they think they've achieved their goal, they'll do it. Those whose minds have grown scornful due to their great fortune have this as their worst failing. Thus whom they hurt, they also hate. There is that very famous saying of a man who had grown old serving under monarchs. When someone asked him how he attained that thing which is most rare at court, old age, he said, by accepting hurts by saying thank you. Now, I'm just going to add my 2 cents into that. That is the most humbling response to give somebody. If somebody does you wrong and you say thank you, that's like a complete that's like a complete way to like sway somebody off, because their intention was to throw you off your square, knock you off your square, as what the philosopher was saying in this chapter. I believe his concept was, for every wrong that someone does to you, right, you have an option to respond in a way. You have something in your control. There's always something in your control that you could, that you could take advantage of. So let's say, for example, somebody insults you, right, with their words, because it's just words coming out of their mouth, right? You have the option to retaliate in kind by saying something even more rough, such as something like a revengeful response, or you could choose to go about it and let it go. You have many options in your power. The main thing here is that you have the option to choose how you want to respond and to react to the behavior of other people. That's what the philosopher was saying. So if you want to learn how to keep your cool, keep that concept in mind. You have the power to control your reactions and your response to how people treat you. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for listening to the audio.